Welcome, everybody. Hello, Pastor Larry here, and we're connecting by way of SermonLink, of course. Again here today, and so glad that you're with us. We're going to be checking out the Gospel of Matthew, the first chapter. You can see the verses indicated there. We've been asking you along the way to share the sermon link, give us a like, any of those kind of things if they feel right to you. Gosh, they sure help us out in spreading the message far and wide, which is what we like to do. So thanks for helping out with that. Let me get right to the reading, and then we can spend a few moments reflecting on it. This is, of course, as you see, the very opening part of Matthew's Gospel. This is actually Matthew's Christmas story. Now, we almost always, in fact, I'd say always, we turn on Christmas Eve into the Gospel of Luke to the second chapter. Some of us may not even realize there's another telling of the birth of Christ, and this is it. We find it here beginning with verse 18 in Matthew chapter 1. So let's hear it together, at least part of his story. Now the birth of Jesus, the Messiah, took place in this way. When his mother Mary had been engaged to Joseph, but before they lived together, she was found to be with child from the Holy Spirit. Her husband Joseph, being a righteous man and unwilling to expose her to public disgrace, planned to dismiss her quietly. But just when he had resolved to do this, an angel of the Lord appeared to him in a dream and said, "Joseph, son of David, do not be afraid to take Mary as your wife, for the child conceived in her is from the Holy Spirit. She will bear a son, and you are to name him Jesus, for he will save his people from their sins." And that's where we'll just stop right there, because that last part is really our focus for this week. In fact, it makes me want to ask, what do you want for Christmas? Have you got your list together? Have you shared your list with other people? I know in our family we do that. We don't go crazy with it, but we give ideas and suggestions, and sometimes even more specifically a website link, or the specs of sizes or colors or whatever it might be that would help someone who wants to give a gift to do that in a way that is something we might really appreciate. So I'm asking you, do you have your Christmas list together? What do you want? Now, as I'm asking that, of course, never on those lists would appear this: I want to be saved. That would not appear on any of our Christmas lists ever, I don't think. And Matthew, if he knew that, would be a little bit frustrated with us. I think Matthew would say it should be on there every year. I want to be saved. And primarily that's because what Matthew wants us to know is that's what God gives. And ultimately, that's what we most need. Now, when we say, I want to be saved, in some of the traditional way of thinking about that as a Christian, it implies being saved from hell, being saved from eternal damnation. I'm not going to pick up that subject today, except to say that thinking about our salvation only in terms of what might happen or what we hope will happen after we die is a very minimal way of thinking about it. And that's not, I don't think, what Matthew is wanting us to know when he shares this birth story of Jesus, or this Christmas story of Jesus, as the one who's the Messiah who comes to save us from our sin. This is not about what happens when we die. This is about how we live, the way we are enabled to live because of Jesus. And so the saving power of Jesus is not really what it saves us from, it's what it saves us to. It's what it enables us to be about in this world. And that is to live connected to God, and to live connected to each other, and to experience those relationships in a whole, healed, and strong and faithful way. And so the saving work of Jesus is the restoration of relationship, both with God and us with each other. So you can see how that is about living, not dying. And when we think about that then in relationship to what we need or want for Christmas, Matthew would be right if he'd say, put that on your list, because we need that. I mean, all of us in some way or another, either some part of us or most of who we are in life has this longing to be connected to others, to be loved, to be valued, to be accepted as we are, to find meaning in that, and to live in relationship with other people. And so if there's any aspect in our lives that feels isolated or cut off, and I think in this pandemic time, that's something we've all experienced to one level or another, it's good news that God gives us what we want, what we need, what we long for, spiritually speaking, certainly, and that gift is wrapped up in the person of Jesus Christ. So the Christmas story for Matthew is announcing that Jesus is that one who comes to save. And so he leaves all of the other details that we get in Luke with the shepherds and the angels singing and the manger in Bethlehem and even Mary and Joseph wrapping their baby in swaddling cloths and all of that. He leaves that to others like Luke. And to us, he simply wants us to embrace the truth that Jesus comes to connect us to God, to heal our hearts, to forgive our sin, to give us grace and peace and hope, and to wrap us in eternal love. And I think when you recall to your mind and heart that list of gifts, there's really nothing else we want or need. So I hope that can sustain you through this week, this second week of Advent. And I pray that the season is going well for you and that you're discovering some new ways to experience God and live with God. Friends, it's good to be together. Again, give us a share or a like, and we appreciate that. And for now, we want to say goodbye, but we'll be back. We'll be here every week. So we'll see you next time. Thanks. Take care.